Welcome to CIS195 Lecture Week 3. This week we will be working with website structure and talking about several different types of links. For this week I've pre-created a series of web pages for us to work with. If you go to the website for this week, the Moodle site for this week, you'll find an area that shows the files that you can download that will help you during the lecture. One is called lecture-base. This contains the files that I'm going to be using during the lecture to start out with. There's also a second compressed file on the Moodle page called lecture-completed. This will contain the files after I've completed the lecture. And we're going to start off here talking about some site structure. Typically, when you are at a web page or a website, they have navigational links that help you get to the different pages within the website. We have a special tag that helps us define this navigational structure, and it's simply called the nav tag. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this to our page. So let me go ahead and put that in here. Within the body, so we'll have a nav tag, and it has a closing tag as well. I'll just go ahead and move this down. Now within the nav tag, here is where we're going to put the navigational area. In this case, I'm just going to put a list of links that go to different pages. We already have some pages within our website here, and it's under this adventure folder. So I've got 3 pages already pre-created. I'm going to use these pages as the point to which we're going to jump to within this page. So within here I can put whatever type of tags I want. For this particular case, I'm going to use an unordered list. So I will create that. Oops. If I can type properly. So I'll do I meant an unordered list. Let's fix that. And then within here, we'll put our list items. So the first one, we're going to make it a link. So I will put a link tag. And then I'll do my reference, href, off to that. So we have the links page here, and then a subfolder called adventure where we have the other pages. So I have to reference that appropriately. So I have to type adventure for the folder name, a slash, and then the name of the file that we're going to be linking to. And now I need to type what I want the link to say. So this is going to be begin your adventure. We'll go ahead and close up this tag, as it likes to close it for us automatically. So at this point, if I were to come over here, I've already pre-staged the page so I can review it. If I refresh this, I have my start of my navigation page. This is your begin your own adventure. And if I were to click on this, it should go to the start your adventure page, which it does. Alright, let's go ahead and let's put the rest of our links in here. So let me just copy this. And we'll paste it 2 more times. We've got 2 other pages that we want to add here. So one is called the start. The next one is the choose page, and then the end page. So it's choose your adventure, or begin your adventure, choose your path. Your path. And then Okay, so come back over here. If I go back to the links.html page, we should have the 3 different linked navigational areas, and each one of these should go to their appropriate pages. Now, you may be asking right now, why did I even care about putting these nav tags around this? I could have just put an unordered list itself. Well, as we've said before, these types of tags here help other types of browsers know where to look for to find important information. In this case, the browser will know that you're indicating this as a navigational resource for your site. Another term for this could be a site map. It's just basically a map how to get to the different pages within your website. Alright, so I'm going to move on to a new topic here, but before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put a comment in our page here to make this a little easier for us to kind of figure out what we're doing. So I'm going to put a comment tag here, and I'm going to call this navigation. So this is just to indicate to me that the area below this is a navigation area. Let me go ahead and I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And I'm going to move to my next spot here, another comment. And I'm going to call this one How Open a Link in a New Tab. Now what we're going to talk about next is these links here. Currently, if I click on them, they open in the same tab. You'll notice no new tab opens. I push the back arrow and I go back to the original page. But what if I wanted this to open in a new tab? Well, we can do this within these elements here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to copy the entire nav menu here. And I'm going to paste it down here. So if I do that, now we're going to have refresh that, we're going to have 2 separate navigational menus here. And I'm going to adjust this one down here so that it opens in a new tab. Now we do this within the link tag, the A tag, by adding a new element here. So the element is going to be called target. So the target, and then we do an equals. Then we have to tell it what target. In this case, I'm going to do the blank one. You'll notice when I press the underscore on my keyboard, it brought up the options available for me. Blank, parent, self, and top. The blank option is the one that is most used. The others are for very special situations that I will not be discussing. You can read in your reading. Okay, so I finished that one. So let me go back over. And now I'm going to click on that new link, the one we just changed. And oops, forgot to refresh the page. And there you'll notice it opened in its own page now. I can't press the back button because there isn't anything to go back to. I have not completed these yet, so those will not open. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to copy what we added here, this target, and add it to each of my other links. I'll refresh the page, and now if I click on any one of these new links, it should open in a new page. Okay, we're next going to be talking about what's known as a base path. So within our folder structure, the page starts at the folder that it is within. So in this case, we're within a lecture-base folder. Anything that it references needs to be at this level or in a subfolder. And we're showing that here by adding the adventure in front of the name of the file that we're looking for within the adventure folder. But what if I just wanted to type only the starting point here? I wanted to tell the page, always look within the adventure folder to start with. Well, I can do that by adding a base path. So I'm going to put that up here in the header because this is the location that's appropriate for this particular tag. So I'm going to start off again with my comments here, just to make it easier for myself. Adding a base path. And then the instructions for this are base, and then the reference, h reference equals, and then the path. So in this case, adventure, and you'll notice that Visual Studio Code decided to figure it out for me, so I'm just going to click on that. And then I have to close up the tag. There is no ending tag on this. Alright, so let me come back over here and I'm going to refresh this, but I'm also going to view the source so that you can see that this has been added into our page. Now if I go back here and click on this, notice something happened. It says your file cannot be accessed. The reason it can't be accessed, and I'm clicking up here in the address bar, is to show you what happened here. What's happened is it's looking for the file in a location called folder lecture base, and then a subfolder adventure, and then another subfolder adventure, then the name of the file. But that's not where it's located. It appended this adventure and the slash to our path. So in order to fix this, I would have to remove the adventure from the beginning of this, and I'm going to do that here. And then we'll come back over here. I'll make sure this is refreshed. Let's look at the page source again. Okay, so those look correct. And then if I click on it, now it's going to go to the appropriate place. So using a base path can be helpful depending upon how you're structuring your pages. But you also have to remember, if you're not finding the location to the files that you're looking for, you may have to look and see if you've set the base path incorrectly. Okay, we're going to move on to a new type of tag here. Let me rephrase that. We're going to move on to a different attribute within the link tag, the A tag. This is a feature that allows us to jump to any location within a document. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open a document here in the web page for us, and this is called the jump.html page. And you'll notice this page has a whole bunch of text in it, a bunch of fake text that I created. So there's something here at the bottom that I want to get to, so I've had to scroll down quite a bit. So it says, hey, we're back to the normal text. So what I'd like to do is, instead of having to scroll, I'd like to be able to click on a link and just jump directly to that location. So let's go ahead and let's make that happen. So let's go ahead and I'm going to open this web page. And what we're going to do is we're going to make some adjustments here. This is kind of a two-step process. First, we have to go to the location that we want the link to jump to. So in this case, it's at this location. And you'll notice that I've already included within your text the ID tag. This is a reference that allows us to know where to have the link move to within the page. So this is the tag, or excuse me, the element ID equals, and then a name. So this name I made up. There's nothing special to it. You could put anything you want there. So then we'll go ahead and let's go back to the top here. So I'm going to add a new link here that'll allow us to move to that point. So what I'm going to do is let's just create another paragraph tag. And then just to say, how about this? How about now we're going to put a link tag within the paragraph tag. And then I use the href, that point to which we want to move to, equals, or quotes, and you use the pound symbol in order to tell the browser that I want to go to somewhere within this page itself. The place I want to go to is that ID called jump to. I'll close the quotes up here. Let me close out that A tag, and then how about I'll just say click in here. So our A tag is closed, our paragraph tag is closed. So let's go back over here. Let me refresh the page. Now I've got a link that I just created. That link is referencing the information at the bottom of this page. So if I click on here, it should move the page down to where now I can see that text. Now it would move it up further. If it could, it would actually move it all the way to the top of this if I had enough more information after this. So let me just go ahead and we'll add a whole series of breaks here to move this text way up the page. So if I come back over here and refresh this, I should be able to push everything off the top of the page, which I did. Now if I click on that, you'll notice it moved this to the top of the page. So this can be a real helpful feature. So the next thing that we can look at here is, what if I wanted to create a link that jumps to a location within a different page completely? So we can actually do that. I have a pre-created page called treasure.html. I'll go ahead and I'm going to open that on our page here. So we've got a whole series of treasure chests here within this page, and then somewhere in this page there's an open treasure chest. Oh, there it is. So I had to scroll down the page to get to that. But what I can do is I can create a link to this so that it will actually bring this up closer to the top so that it's identified immediately for us. So let me go ahead and I'm going to close that. I'll close our jump page. So let's come back over here, back on our links page, and let's figure out where I'm at. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to add another comment here. This is a creating links to locations inside another page. And we're going to do this once again with the A tag. We do an href here. And it will take a moment for you to think about what would we do. So we want to get to the location within this document. So we're going to have to figure out what the ID tag is here. So let's go ahead and we'll go to that document. And let's go find that tag. There it is. It's already pre-created. I've created an ID and it's called Open Chest. Okay, so we need within our links folder, so we know we're going to need that. We're going to need Open Chest in order to go to that. But that's not exactly what we need. We actually need the name of the web page as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, at the beginning of this, type in treasure.html with a slash, without the slash. If I'd have done that, that would not have worked. So it's the name of the page, followed by a pound symbol, followed by the ID that you want to move to. So here, close up that A tag, but let me put some text here so that we actually have a link we can click on. How about click here to see some treasure. Come back over here to our links page. So now we have our link. If I click here, it should work. Oh, something didn't work. What happened here? What did we do wrong? Let's see if we can investigate this. Okay, so one way we could try to troubleshoot this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this again here. Actually, I'm going to go up and I'm going to look at the page to see what's happened here. Oh, notice what happened. It's added the adventure here. So our base reference that we had over here is confusing things. The treasure file is actually not within the adventure subfolder. So I need to actually take and get rid of this in order to make this work for me. So let's go ahead and come back over here. So instead of erasing this, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to put a comment tag around it. I'm doing this to show you that a comment tag can actually span multiple lines. So what I've done is I placed the start of the comment tag here, the end of it after this. So now I have basically turned off the base tag feature. So let me come back over here, we'll refresh this and then click. Now it works. You'll notice that it moved the page up to where I can actually see the treasure that's opened. So I can actually scroll back to the top in order to show you that we could scroll back and forth. The next item we're going to be looking at here is how to create a link with an image. So actually clicking on an image will take us to a location. So I actually have some images created here within our image folder. I've got one specific for this LCC logo.png. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our page and I'm going to put our comment. So this is creating links with an image. And let's go ahead and put the href. So this is the location we would like to move to after we click the image. So in this case, we're going to be going to lanecc.edu because this is a lanecc image. So I'll close the beginning tag up, and now within the A tag, I'm going to put another tag. In this case, the image tag. So I have to give it its source equals. And I have to tell it the path because I turned off that base image. Well, I could put a base here, but it would confuse things terribly. And then we're going to go to LCC logo.png. Close that up. Close this up. So let's go ahead and come back over here. Get back to my links. There's our image. So if I click on that, it should go to the lanecc page as it did. Now you'll notice here that the image moved over to the right of the previous link. So I don't really like that. That kind of looks bad. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to add a couple of break tags in here. Things look a little better if we do this. If I can type. Refresh that. There we go. So we move that down. Alright, so we have one more type of link that I'd like to look at, and this is an email link. So let's go ahead and do that. Creating email links. And go back up here. Let's put some break tags. And then let's put our email link. So once again, get really good at doing this. And do the href now equals. Now here you're going to do something special. We're going to use something called mail to. So I'm just going to type the word mail to. And then you put a colon. And here you put the name of the email that you want it to go to. So in this case, I'm just going to be putting in the fake webmaster@example.com. You close up the beginning tag and then you write what you want it to say on the link, so send an email. So if I come back over here, refresh our page, we should have a send an email. Now if I click this, it's going to open, ask me, where do you want to send this from? Well, I don't have an email client set up on my computer, so it's not going to actually send anything, but if you did, clicking that would open your email client. Okay, so we are done with links. Alright, we're going to be moving on to a different topic here, and this is known as an HTML image map. So an HTML image map is the ability to take an image, define certain areas within that image, and then have links associated with those areas. It's a fairly in-depth process, so let's just spend some time going through this. So as before, I've got a blank page set up here for us. I'll go ahead and I'll open this page in our browser. And you can see there's nothing in there at this moment. And I also have an image, and this image is within my images folder. It's called shapes.png. And what I'm going to do is, let's just go ahead and start off, and we will show the image on the page. Okay, so here within the body, let's just go ahead and type the image tag, give it a source, tell it where to find the file. In this case, it's in the images folder, and it's the shapes file. And we'll put an alt tag here equals just some shapes. Just some shapes. Okay, let's close up the image. And let's go over here and refresh. So there's our images, or our shapes. So I've got three shapes, a round shape, a rectangular shape, and a little polygon shape that looks like an arrow pointing to the right. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to click on each of these three individual shapes and have us go to a different web page. What we have to do is we have to tell the web page where to look at when we click or hover our mouse over an image, where these images, or excuse me, these shapes are located. So in this case, I would have to be able to tell the web page, where is this circle? Now we can do that by telling it where on the actual full image the center of the circle is, and then tell it how wide or what the radius is. For a rectangle, I can just tell it 2 of the corners. And for a polygon shape, you actually have to tell it where a bunch of different points are, and it will draw a line between them until it creates a shape. Now this is something you can do by hand, but it takes a lot of effort, and truthfully, we have tools that make this easier for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to use one of those tools to actually have it create all of those coordinates for us. So we're going to go to a website, and it's going to actually do the work for us. And this website is called image-map.net. So in this website, what I have to do is I have to give it the image that I want it to use. So I'm going to tell it to select an image from my PC. Let's go to the location. Our lecture, images, my shapes. So it opens that image for us here. So I'll scroll down here, and there's an area where I can actually tell it where I want, what I want to create. So in this case, this first line here, I tell it what kind of shape. In this case, I have a circle. I then go up into my image and I click to try to indicate where is the center of that. So it's kind of right there. I'll click again to identify the outer edge. Now I can kind of move stuff around here if I don't like it. So that's it. That's approximately that location. At this point, I could put in where do I want it to link to. I could give it a title. I could give it a target. Targets, as you remember, are those we wanted to open in a separate page. So sure, let's open this in a separate page, but then we'll do the rest of this later. So I click Add a New Area, and I have to actually choose which is active at the moment. So we'll go ahead and we'll do the rectangle next. So click Rectangle. So I have to choose 2 opposite corners. Alright, that looks pretty good. Once again, we'll open this in its own page. Add one more new area. Activate it. Click Poly for polygon. Now here is where I have to click in each distinctive corner of this. And you'll notice it's attempting to create a shape, a closed shape out of this. So there we go. I've got all of my areas. I'll add blank here. Okay, I'm done. So now I'm going to click the Show Me the Code. So what this does is it actually creates the source code that I'm going to need in order to create this. Now this is everything. So this actually has the image, which I already have here, and what's known as the map name. This is the defined coordinates that it's going to need in order to know where the shapes are. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. So I've highlighted it and I press copy. I'm going to come back over to our source code and I'm going to type that in here. Alright. Now let's come back over here for a moment. You'll notice that in the image tag up here, it actually has another element. This is called Use Map. So in order for us to use this information under the map, we have to add that element. So I'm going to have to put that up here. So map name equals image-map. Let's just make sure we did that correctly. Oh, I forgot to put the pound symbol in here. Now, remember we used the pound symbol for something else. This was for the ID tag. This was to indicate that within that page there was an ID tag. So in this case, we're saying that the map is on this page and look for it underneath map name equals. We could actually store these maps on another page completely if we wanted to. Okay, so we have this set up. Everything looks right. So I should be able to close this. I should be able to go back to our image map. Let me actually hover over this. And I should be able to hover over this, but we don't got anything going on yet. What's wrong here? Well, there's some missing things here. One is we're missing where we want it to go to. So in this case, the circle, let's just say we wanted to go to circle.com. Alright, so let me refresh this and I'm going to click on the circle. We still don't have anything yet, so let's see what we've done wrong. Let's go back over to our code. Oh, there it is. I made a mistake. Instead of map name, this is actually supposed to be use map. So let's make that more apparent. Now let's go ahead and we'll fix a few things here just to make things a little easier for us to see. So Alt, this is very similar to when you put Alt on an image. This is just to give it a little more information and an alternative browser. So we'll just put here, I'm going to put circle shape. Give it a title, circle. So let's go ahead and refresh this. I'm just going to look at the page source just to make sure everything's looking like it should. Alright. So now if I hover over that, you'll notice something happened. My cursor changed. It changed to a little hand symbol to indicate, there's something here. that I can click on, and it actually brought up the word circle because I placed that in the title. So now if I were to click on this, we should go to a site called circle.com. It had a problem here. Why did it do that? Let's see. So it opened this in a new page like it was supposed to, but look what it did. It actually looked for a place called circle.com within my folder structure. It's not what I wanted. So in order to fix this, I actually have to give it the full path. In this case, http:// then circle.com. Let's go back and refresh this. Hover over that again and click on it. There we go. We went to a website called circle.com, which I didn't even realize existed, but I assumed it must have. Okay, so we could complete all of these. But for the case of this lecture, I'm just going to call this good. That's it. You are done with Lecture 3. You can move on to the lab.